After recording my KCA voting video and seeing Ryan's World in one of the categories, or a few of the categories, I already forgot most of the shit that was on the roster this year, I got curious and looked up his channel just to see if his parents really were still trotting this kid out in front of the camera. And sure enough, they are, and I probably shouldn't even be using the word kid, even though he is still definitionally a kid, but at least according to Google, he is now 13 years old. So he is a teenager now, and no longer the little kid opening up presents full of toys or whatever the fuck content his parents were making him do back then. And he is still, at age 13, in front of the camera playing with toys and making content that appeals to no one else besides 5-year-olds. I mean, I only briefly skimmed a few of his videos and that was it because obviously I am far past the age demographic his videos are targeted towards. But truth be told, does the audience his videos are geared towards even give a shit about his content? His channel has nearly 40 million subscribers, and on average his new videos garner like 50k views. All of the little kids who watched his videos back then, I'd imagine by now, are teenagers like him, or at the very least older kids who have already grown out of this type of content. And why would a new crop of kids want to watch a teenager unbox and play with toys? What the fuck does a teenager have in common with like a 4-year-old? I remember when I was in kindergarten and first grade, I would see 5th graders walking in the hallways at school, and even though these kids were like 10 or 11 at most, they still seemed so big and so mature to me, because these were the oldest kids in the school, and you know, when you're 5 or 6 years old, everyone who's older than you, even slightly, seems much bigger and more mature than you. So it's kind of a no-brainer why his channel is flailing. I don't think there are many little kids who want to watch a teenager try to act like them and appeal to them. It's sad seeing Ryan at age 13 still doing these toy unboxing videos, playing with toys on camera, and still doing the type of content in general he was doing at, what, age 4? And I know, teenagers can still enjoy toys. I'm 24 years old and I still like Slinkies, so I'm not ragging on him for that. But I don't buy for a second that he's still doing these videos out of some organic interest in continuing to do them, and nor should anyone else. It's his parents shoving a camera into his face and saying, "Keep making the videos that you're famous for." It doesn't matter that you've likely long outgrown the type of content this channel specializes in. We have a brand to uphold, and there's money to be made, and I just can't help but feel so sorry for this kid. His entire childhood consisted of making these videos and seemingly being treated as more of a branding icon than a regular kid. There's Ryan-themed merchandise, and clothing, and games, and cartoons, and I believe he even had a whole-ass fucking movie a few years ago. Why does a child need all of this shit centered around them, and why does a child need to be the face of what is essentially at this point a branding empire? You've already deprived this kid of a normal childhood. Just let him live out his fucking teen years out of the spotlight and in peace. You've already made more than enough money off of him. What, is he gonna be 20 years old and still making these videos? Oh god. There is no reason to continue making these videos, and what's sad is Ryan probably thinks he enjoys making these videos because this is all he knows. His parents started up the channel when he was like, what, 3 or 4 years old? He has no regular life, that he remembers at least, to compare his life of quote-unquote stardom to. Because the earliest bits of his life that he can remember, he was likely already a money puppet for his parents. And his parents can say, "Oh, but Ryan enjoyed making these videos from the start," which I am sure they have said already. But how can someone who was that young when the channel started give informed consent to being a YouTube star and knowingly accept all of the consequences that come with that? I don't see Ryan as someone who is living the dream. I see him as someone who was, and is still currently being, robbed of a normal adolescence, all because his parents are more concerned with their child being the face of a brand that has made them untold amounts of money, instead of allowing their kid to live a happy, healthy, and normal childhood. I think back to my childhood and how happy and carefree I was, and the friends I made, and I wouldn't trade any of that for a childhood where my parents view me as nothing more than a walking dollar sign. Just let this kid be. He already made you enough millions. Give him the courtesy of living out his remaining years of adolescence as just a normal teenager. It's the least you can do, because unfortunately you can't undo the fact he was deprived of a normal childhood. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.